Beatrice was sexually abused as a child. She's a rape survivor, and she's going to be sharing her story with us here on Real Talk. Beatrice, karibu kwenye Real Talk.
Thank you.
You told our producers that you actually are a survivor of sexual violence and rape.
Yeah.
So tell me about that.
I was sexually assaulted when I was 10 by my uncle back in Murang'a. By then my parents had moved to Nairobi and they had left us under the care of our grandma. That's when we had some duties. I was to clean the house, that's to sweep the house and clean the utensils. So one day, my dad's brother came back earlier than before. He told me to sweep his bedroom and lay his bed, which I had already done. When I told him I had done that, he told me, no, go do it again. And I did it. I came back and told him I had done it.
Were you the only one in the house with him at the time?
Yeah.
All your other siblings were out playing?
No, they had gone to the farm.
Okay.
Yeah. So he told me to go back again and do it. When I went back, he followed me.
To his bedroom?
Yeah. Threw me on his bed and assaulted me.
At 10 years old?
Yeah, at 10.
What happened afterwards?
He threw me out of his bedroom. I went to the bathroom, did several showers, and then went back to our room where we used to sleep. That day, I remember I slept earlier than before, and my sister came back. Actually, my uncle told me if I told anyone about what had happened, he would kill me. So I went to our room and slept earlier than before. Then, when my sister came back, my elder sister, she asked me what was wrong. I told her nothing.
Why? Because he had threatened to kill you?
Yes.
So you were scared?
I was very scared.
Was he still within the same household with you?
I think he stayed there for a short period of time and then moved to Nairobi.
So you had to see this man who had assaulted you every day?
Yeah.
And stay silent about it because you were a child and you were scared?
Yeah.
And again, unfortunately, you were raped again, a second time, soon afterwards. Tell me about that.
By then, our parents had picked us from our grandparents' place.
In Murang'a?
Yeah, and we moved to Nairobi. That day, my parents were busy fighting. We moved out of the house to give them space.
How many months after the first incident was this?
It wasn't that long, as far as I can remember. And then, when we went out of the house, there's a man who used to sell mafuta ya taa.
So just in the estate?
Yeah.
Mtu mwenye unaona, unamjua, unamtambua?
Yes. He took me to a certain corner and assaulted me for the second time. It was painful. I thought I was cursed. I blamed myself for everything. Since from the beginning, someone who I was related to did it. So I felt like I was cursed. I didn't belong to the family. I hated who I was. I was a tomboy. I used to pick fights with boys even at school.
Even after this second incident, you didn't tell anybody?
No. He threatened the same way.
That he hurt you?
Yeah.
If you told anybody?
Yeah.
And so you're saying how you dealt with it was that you became a tomboy?
Yeah, and a loner.
At any point in time, nobody noticed, mom, dad, your siblings, that you were no longer yourself?
Nobody noticed. Actually, I used to lock myself up in my room. And my mom never knew the reason why I was doing this. And again, it's because I didn't have that close relationship with my parents. Because when I was in class 7, they divorced. And I was left at home with my siblings.
So when you're in class 7, this is now after the assault had happened to you?
Yeah.
And you say that the second time it happened, you actually blamed your parents?
Yeah.
Why was that?
Because I think they, instead of doing what was right, instead of looking, taking good care of us, they were busy fighting. And they never had good relationship with us to know what we were going through. We were not that open to share what we were going through with them. I will term that as absent parents.
You never shared when it happened. Have you since shared this with your parents?
I shared this with my mom this year, and it was
For
the
the first
hardest
time?
thing. Yeah,
In how many years?
13 years.
How did she react hearing it from you that this happened to you when you were such a little girl and she's hearing about it in 2018?
She cried. She even wanted to sue the guy. And I told her there's no need to do that because we have no evidence.
So when you say she wanted to sue the guy, your father's brother as well?
Yes, but I did not mention the name because I know she's hot-tempered and she can do anything. So I told her this and this happened, I was assaulted, and that's when you were busy fighting, and the second time you were not around, I was assaulted. And she was very sorry, and she cried.
So, Beatrice, the first time you were assaulted, you shared with us that it was by a close family member. Is this a man that you have seen since?
I've never gone back there since then. I don't even attend a family gathering.
Just to avoid him?
Yeah.
What would happen if you met him today?
Nothing at all.
You're not only a rape survivor, you're also working to counsel other people who have been through what you went through. So clearly for me, that is the strongest mark of a survivor. So you went through it, you've overcome. So what would you say to anyone who's watching, even a young girl who has been sexually assaulted and somebody told her, ukisema, nitakuchapa, nitakuua, utamwambia aje?
Rape is real. At first you can downplay the feeling. You think that you're okay, but it eats you up slowly by slowly until you learn to speak about it. Find someone who you trust, someone who can listen to you, and someone who can help you out. Share your story. The people will criticize you. Actually, the society will criticize you. But speak about it for your own benefit. For you to heal completely, or for you to acquire that healing, you have to speak about what you have gone through.
With all the knowledge that you have today, if you were to talk to your 10-year-old self and you told her, speak up, tell somebody, do you think she would have been believed the first time it happened?
No, I was young and ignorant. People will ask, why did you not sue the guy? Why did you not do anything? Remember, there was no one back there. I told you to take care of us. We were living with my grandma.
Right.
And then we never knew anything about rape or how to handle rape. But now I'm fully aware of what I'm supposed to do when that thing happened. When you are raped, the steps that you are supposed to take, and you should accept yourself. I've realized that I'm not to blame for whatever that happened. I'm not ashamed. The shame is on the perpetrator.
My next guest on the show is Clemence Kizela. Clemence is also a rape survivor. She survived an abusive relationship where she was raped multiple times by her husband during pregnancy and even after pregnancy. She's here tonight to share her story with us on Real Talk. Clemence, welcome to Real Talk. Again, thank you so much for making the time today to come forward and share your story. So yours is a different story of sexual abuse because you were abused in marriage. Tell me more about that.
This was my husband, that I never knew him before. I met him for the first time when we were coming from a funeral. My friend had lost his dad. So this guy came and asked me for my number. Of course, I said no because I didn't know the guy. But what I didn't know is, like, later they hook up with my friend, and he was given my number from my friend. Right?
How old were you then?
23 years.
23 years old.
Yeah. During my birthday, it is when now this guy appeared, and when he came, I just fell in love with him.
Yeah.
And I told the people that were around there, I'm getting married to that person.
So how long did you guys date before marriage?
We never dated.
So
mine is weird.
Okay.
Mine is weird. I guess it's a story for another day when maybe times allows. But yes, I ended up getting married to the guy.
How long had you known him for at this point?
I just saw him once on Mombasa Raha.
Then you meet at the birthday party?
Yeah.
And then after that, you guys decide to get married?
Yes, exactly. I went home and I told my mom that, actually I lied to my mom and I told my mom that I've been transferred to go to work in a different company in another county. And my mom was like, oh, that's okay. But that's a lie because I wanted to create time so that I could be living with
him.
So yeah, so I went, took my own money, rented a house and accommodated him. In that same month, I realized that I was pregnant. So when at that time also I was learning now to love him more and more and more.
Was he also your age?
Yeah, okay, he was older by 6 years.
By 6 years older than you. And
years.
you're paying for rent at that point?
I'm doing everything in the house, paying the rent.
And marriage at this point was really, you guys had decided, let's come and stay together.
Actually, it's just a come and stay thing.
But it was marriage for you guys because you are committed.
Because I'm committed to him. And now I'm already known that I'm pregnant. And my prayer and my thing was I cannot be away from the husband, from the father of my child. I have to be in a place where my baby will be born with my dad, with the father, and we raise our child together. So in this case, when he realized that I was pregnant, he changes. He could come home after 2 weeks. He disappears. After 2 weeks, he comes. So when he comes home, you know, sometimes with pregnancy comes with different issues. So mine, I had a problem. So the doctor said, for now, you cannot be able to have intercourse until the pregnancy is 4 months. But him, it was a different case. He said, no, you are my wife and I have to have it.
So not understanding that you have a vulnerable pregnancy. He didn't care?
He didn't.
Okay.
He did not. So he could come home, drunk, sometimes even sober, and take me, dash me to bed, tie my legs, and rape me. So it reached a point whereby I think he was tired of raping me in one way. Yeah? He said, now since the doctor doesn't want me to use this side, I can use the other side. Right. So to me it was a very difficult thing because you're pregnant. I've been hearing stories that when you're pregnant and someone is abusing you, the other side can bring a challenge.
Absolutely.
Actually, during your birth. But I could tell myself, no, it will not happen in my case. So the thing continues for a longer period.
Did you share with anyone at that point? Friends, family?
I could not share with anyone because now in this time, once I married to him, he took my phone. He told me not communicating with your siblings. Actually, he could escort me to work. Wait for me.
Yani, jamaa alikuwa insecure?
Yes, wait for me. Come with me home. You know, he could monitor my steps. So no calls for me. If I have to make any calls, I have to make a call when I'm at work.
And what about the family? Like your parents, your mom? Nobody thought
That's another thing.
Ama ni vile pengine they came to realize now you're married and they were angry?
Actually, they knew. They knew because the place I was working, still my siblings could come and visit and see me there. They could go and tell mom, Mommy Clemens is still around. So my mom, because he's bitter at me, I betrayed her, you know.
And you're pregnant at that point.
Yeah, being a Christian. I did not raise my child well. Why would she lie to me? So my mom got angry at me. Same to my siblings. And they could not understand why I could not even visit them. I could not come out and tell them that my husband has forbidden me to see any one of my family.
And he's also abusing you.
Abusing me, beating me up, raping me both sides. You know, actually, after he comes to visit me, I could have been taken to the hospital, added blood, because he could leave me in a very critical condition. And he will come back after 2 weeks knowing that now she's okay. I
see so much strength when I look at you. So I'd like you to share with us, at what point did you now realize as Clement, if nikibaki hapa, this man will kill me and kill my child?
After I gave birth.
Okay.
When I gave birth, I started talking to myself because my mind and my heart could not agree. My mind could tell me you're in the right place. My heart could tell me, Clemens, you're not born to be going through this all shit.
Because he was also abusing you even after you gave birth.
Even after I gave birth, because I thought maybe after giving birth, now because the baby is on board, he will change to be loving towards me and also towards the baby. But now the case was different. He could beat me, even beat the baby. Now, during my giving birth, it was so bad because as I pushed the child, all the strength could go wrongly, so the baby could not come out. So they had to pull the baby out, and that caused me a very big tear. So when I came home, he could not even be like, you have a tear now, let me wait for you to heal. Yeah. He could now do the opposite side. I doesn't not even to care. So it reached a point that I said, no, Clemens, you will die here. get someone who can talk to. So at work, I had a friend called, another friend of mine. So one day I told her, when you see me maybe laughing, smiling, you guys don't know what I go through. Can I have a minute with you? At least I share with you what I go through. And then she told me, I'm not the right person, but there's one person who always loves you. And when he comes here, he wants you to be the one to serve him. He was a pastor. Can you talk to him? I said, yeah, by the way. So he called the pastor. When that pastor came, I told him, allow me to talk to you what I'm going through. Maybe you can help me. So I shared with him my story. And he looked at me and he told me, wow, how do you afford a smile? I was like, all these things are fake. I'm hurting inside. I'm bleeding inside. And I cannot be able to share with anyone because first, how will they take me?
Yeah.
How will they'll be like, what are you doing there? You know, why don't you come out?
So you feared first people would not believe you, saying that my husband is a rapist. He's raping me.
Nobody will agree with you. Nobody will take that. That is one. Number two, how will my mom take my dad, you know?
So you embarrassed for letting her down.
Exactly. There's so much faith in me. How will they take it? They'll be like, did I not raise my child well, you know? So I was trying to cover everything, every angle. But at that point I said, no, it's about me, it's about my life. Clemens, you will die here in the name of wanting my child to be raised by a father, and this father is already abusing both of us. One day we'll wake up dead, both of us. What
Absolutely.
will we gain?
That's when now your maternal instincts were kicking in, huh? Because now you're thinking, see me too, my child.
Yeah, so at least my child gave me
was your first child a boy or a girl?
My boy.
It was a boy.
Yeah, boy.
Was your dad in the picture?
Yeah, my dad was there.
So what was your relationship like with your father?
We were good buddies. By the time I lied and I went to get into a marriage that they did not approve, I became their enemies.